All right, I have Julia here on Renna's Corner Conversation, and Julia and I, we met online,
Yeah.
and it was through one of Renna's Corner exclusive partners.
Yeah.
So Gina from Arctic Wave, you guys might have seen the coat that Renna wears. It has sleeves that basically have mittens that like come around her hands. So
Yeah.
we love that coat, and Gina's been great to work with, and Gina met Julia, I guess, online too.
Yeah. Also online. Yeah.
And so she connected the two of us because she
Yep.
knows what you do, she knows what I do, and we chatted a little bit, and we
Yeah.
decided that we would be a good fit for each other. And now, is it Sensational You? Is that
Yes.
how it is?
Yep. That's
Okay.
it.
Because it's really fun the way that you have it written out.
Yes. It's more of a pun when you see it written out
Yeah,
with sense
yeah.
being sense.
Yeah, I love it. So, the reason that I liked your brand, besides your story, which I'll have you share, I
Yes.
just thought that was amazing how you put a passion with some experience and a need together to make this basically, and I don't know if this is how you kind of phrase it, but basically like a sensory clothing line, right?
Yeah. No, that's
Yep.
exactly right. Yep.
So I will let you kind of talk about how it all came to be,
Yeah.
and we can talk a little bit more about the actual products. Um, I do want to add how I'm going to, some ways that I'm going to kind of incorporate it into Renna's Corner. So,
Yeah.
but I'll let you go. I'll let you take it away.
Perfect. Yeah, it all really began in college, even though it didn't become a company for several years after this point. But I was majoring in fashion design. I was interested in children's clothing because I thought it was just really fun and had a lot less to do with body image and being flattering. And it was fun just to be creative and not be focused on like the in silhouette and body shape. So really fell in love with that. And I always loved working with kids. And then, very separately, with my sorority, I took over our philanthropy. And I really wanted us to do something that was actual philanthropy and community service and not just fundraising with other frats and sorority on campus. So I ended up connecting us with a local autism preschool and forged this partnership where we'd make like sensory storybooks and go in and read them or bring sensory valentines and support them in their fundraising events, making slime and handing it out. So I ended up very involved with the school as I kind of forged that partnership and met a ton of people. And I think it's just the most common small talk question to college kids is kind of like, oh, what are you majoring in? And when I'd say fashion design, I'm interested in children's clothing. A lot of the teachers, occupational therapists, parents I'd meet at the events kept bringing up that clothing was such a struggle for a lot of the kids they served or their kids. And it was not something that I had really been aware of. I kind of had my two separate worlds for a bit.
Yeah.
And so it really started as an independent study to initially research. I wanted to research options for them to buy. Quickly found out there were not a lot of options for them to buy. So the paper ultimately became almost a first rough draft of a business plan of like what should be created based on what people are saying they need.
Mhm.
And I just started sewing designs for specific local families, like really trying to figure out how to make little fidget hoodies or add compression into shirts. And so it was very small scale. I thought it was something that'd be cool to ultimately bring into the fashion industry. But with COVID hitting right when I graduated, it was not something I couldn't get a job in fashion. So the other side of it was working in special education where they needed in-person workers. So I ended up doing that, seeing how many of my students personally also could have needed clothing to make. And so instead of continuing to sew them myself, figured out how to get them manufactured and create a company so that more than just the few students I could make hoodies for could have these clothes.
Yeah, and it's funny how you're like, so I just decided to do this, and here we
Yeah, yeah.
are.
Yeah, I know. It
Like,
was
like it's
it
an
sounds very
easy
casual.
thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I've been very entrepreneurial for many, many, many years, and I was constantly trying to figure out like what to do, what to do, and I kept
Mhm.
thinking that I needed a product, right?
Yeah.
And I could never think of something that really fit me that I
Yeah.
could create or anything. And so I feel like Renna's Corner kind of just came to be
Yeah.
because of Renna and different products that we were buying
Yeah.
that people kept asking me about. Like, I have a tush baby, it's like the hip carrier.
Yes.
And
I love
she,
those.
yeah, she had it. She started using, well, I started using it when she was like 6 months. And I had
Yes.
no idea she wasn't going to walk until she was 4.5. So I
Yeah.
literally had a 4.5-year-old on like this
Yeah.
seat,
Yeah.
right? There's no way I would have been able to carry her otherwise. But
No.
up and down steps, and she would need assistance to go different places, or she'd get tired of standing if I was like
Right.
helping her and I'd plop her up there. So it all started really with the tush baby
That's
because
so cool.
yeah, I had one. People kept asking me about it, and somehow I got connected with them. And basically, I always call these products that we have and we love like our exclusive brands or our
I love that.
exclusive partnerships because
Yeah.
they're the things that we have, we love,
Right.
and people ask us about.
Yeah.
So that kind of just started with more and more and more. I would have a product and people would ask me about it. So I'd
Right.
reach out to the owner usually and say, "Hey, we have
Yeah.
we have a Topic backpack and it has these different
Oh, cool.
compartments instead of one big bag." And that's now
Yeah.
Rena's like diaper bag. It has all of her things, but I don't
Right.
have to dig for stuff. But I reached out to the owner and I said, "Hey, we have this bag. We
Right.
love it. Can we work with you? Can you?" And I usually ask this too. I know I asked you this. Can can we have a way that people who are following Rena's journey can get a discount on your
Yeah.
product? So it's kind of like they're getting a discount. It's a product we know and we love.
Right.
And it's kind of just growing, Now
Yeah.
people introduce me to other people, and it's actually become really fun because I think well, the Tush Baby was like 4.5 years ago at this point, I
Crazy.
think.
Yeah.
Because it was 22 because my code
Right.
has the numbers 22
To
at
tune
the
it.
end.
That's awesome.
But I really, really started reaching out to other companies probably 2 years ago, two and a half
Okay.
years
Nice.
ago.
Yeah.
And I know that we're going to be doing that. We're going to have a
Yep.
partnership. Um, but I say all this to kind of loop back to and now we have this company and it, but it's hard. Like it
It
takes a
is.
lot of work
Yeah.
and figuring things out. And um, I was doing my website and I thought that I
Mhm.
could do drop shipping where I would just connect with businesses like yours and
Yep.
load the product onto my website and people could basically buy it from my
Right.
website,
Yeah.
which is great, but it just wasn't working the way I thought it would. And
Right.
we have lots of exclusive partnerships that I couldn't figure out how to get on the website and things like that.
Right. Because not everyone's on the same apps or on the same
Yeah,
website development. And yeah, it's hard.
exactly. So I literally have been trying to figure that out for 2 years. And I finally found an amazing person who is redoing my website, and I'm super excited.
So
But even like
exciting.
something like that, that's been 2 years in the making because I tried
Right.
to do this. It didn't work. I wrote blogs, but I couldn't get them to publish.
Right.
Like all these things. And so I can't even imagine all
Yeah,
the
it
work
was definitely
it
when you say
really took.
years, I always tell people like, no, it's years.
Yeah.
Like the independent study, I think I started in 2018. I graduated 2020, and so decided to incorporate and start down the journey of figuring it out. And we didn't launch till April of 2022.
Yeah.
So it was 4 years, really. And then from deciding to make it a company, it was still 2 years before I had product in hand, able to actually ship it out.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a long journey.
Yeah. And I've talked to other moms and they've said to me, "I wish I could do what you do." And I'm like, "Well, you can, but you just have to
Yeah.
figure out like what you're already doing and
Right.
then kind of how to turn that into a business or a resource or whatever you want to
Right.
use
Right.
it for, right?" And I think we get discouraged all of us, because we
Yeah.
look at someone like you and we go, wow, I wish I could do something like that, because we think it literally just happened overnight.
Right.
So I feel like this is a little off conversation, but
No,
your
but
comment
it's
made me
helpful
think
for people
that.
to know sometimes, I think, like when I tell them about my company or about like, making these unique sensory clothing. And it does sometimes come across as like, oh, I should have thought that. Like, I should try to make something. And they'll ask me, and I like explain the whole process of actually trying to get something made and prototyping it and getting it like child safety tested and just all these steps you don't think about or know about. And then you're like, oh, wait, actually, it's not as simple as I thought of a cool idea. Let me put it out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So the one thing that I'm going to be getting soon is now are they just called hoodies, or are they like a jacket hoodie?
Yeah, I call them a hoodie. Standardly, the actual like trademarked name for them is a Quiet Sense hoodie.
Okay.
So Quiet Sense is what's trademarked. It's what I call like our hoods that help block sound and then have the eye mask that can pull down. So either way, but yeah, it's a Quiet Sense hoodie is what we talked about. And what I love about it is that it is a magnetic closure. It's not a pull-on hoodie, which a lot of people like sometimes think of when you hear hoodie, but it's more like a zipper front hoodie, but now with magnets instead.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. One of the problems that I have for Renna, if it is a hoodie like that, she gets really upset because it's usually tight
It's
and I'm like
tight. Yeah,
pulling it up and she doesn't like that. But they're super cute. So I'm like, oh,
right.
here's a cute hoodie. And then I regret it every time because she
Yes,
can't stand that I had to put the whole thing over her head.
right,
And she hasn't gotten to pull a zipper up, but she can pull them down.
right.
So
Yeah,
she is
somehow the down they
constantly,
have no problem with usually.
it's like a snowy day. She zips it right down. I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? And I up.
We had a
So,
lot of students we'd have to zip backwards in their jackets in the winter
oh,
on the playground because like legally I was teaching in Boston in the Boston public schools
oh,
and like you can't have a toddler running around with no winter coat on in a Boston winter. Like we were like if you're going
yeah.
to be outside, which I know you want to be, like we have to have you covered.
So I'm very interested to see how she does with that. She fidgets a
Yeah,
lot.
that'll
So
be
like
cool.
she fidgets like this. Um,
Cool.
but the main reason that I was really excited about that hoodie is I'm noticing she's having more sensory with sound.
With sound. Yep.
Yeah. It seems to be more loud voices near her, not loud environments.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But she doesn't really like those like earmuff things. And it's
Yep.
hard with glasses. She has glasses,
It
so it
is.
like
Yeah.
pushes and it
It
hurts.
pushes on them. Yeah.
So I love that it kind of has like this, and you can probably correct my verbiage, but like it literally has built-in kind of like earmuffs that
Yeah, so
just
it's
kind of
actually a
block it.
pretty flat material, but it is sewn in, so you see the circle that's sewn in, but it doesn't actually press in. It's not that much thicker, so it's not like the headphones that will like press in for that reason, trying to come up with just like an alternative tool for sometimes just different environments, but
Yeah.
not having it press in. So it actually is like a flat material that's sewn in there, and then it's pretty like the material itself is pretty heavy if you got like a lot of it, and we just put a little around the ears. So it does also add like a little bit of weight to the hood. So you have kind of that calming like weightedness on your hood, almost like for kids who love like head squeezes or things like that. It almost has like that feeling.
Okay. Yeah. It's on my to-do list and I need to order it
Yes.
like as soon as possible. I have all these things I need to be ordering, but the reason why I'm kind of like in a time crunch to order it is what I had left you a voice message about.
Yes.
So I'm starting to do different vendor events because
So cool.
I've gotten a lot of feedback, positive feedback about Renna's Corner, about the Renna's Corner conversations that we're doing
Yeah.
now. I have a private Facebook group where I share different resources and
So
products,
cool. Yeah.
events, things like that. And then the website's going to be revamped.
Oh,
So I
yes.
thought it would be a great time to just get out there more and share more
Yeah.
about Renna's Corner. So I have some vendor events, but the thing that I was really working through is, okay, I don't have a product. I feel
Right.
like if I bring in all these like exclusive products, partnerships, it would just be random. Like
Right,
the
they
bag.
seem yeah, with just a few things on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think that would work. Um, and I I used ChatGPT to have like a conversation back and forth to like brainstorm and
Brainstorm.
problem
Yeah.
solve, right? And so we came up with basically like a vendor plan.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna have, of course, like a banner and we're gonna
Yeah.
have bubbles, which
Yes, the
what
favorite. Yeah.
kids don't love
Always a
bubbles,
win. Yeah.
right? And I'm just gonna I have this label maker, which is, I wouldn't say it's an exclusive product, but it's definitely one of the products that is like a mom helpful thing.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm working on putting together some of these mom helpful things I have, but I have this
Yeah.
label maker that's amazing. And I'm
Love
just
it.
gonna put Renna's Corner, like at Renna's Corner on these
Right.
bubbles,
Yeah. That's
so
perfect.
they hopefully the name, they can
Right.
look it up if they want to.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, bubbles will get the kids there, but then when they're there,
Right.
what else can we do, right? And so you and I were talking about
Yep.
having you be like the highlighted partner of
Yep.
specific vendor events, right? And
Yeah.
so I will definitely have the hoodie.
Yep.
I'm gonna put it on display. Rena won't be with me. I don't think at any of the vendor events just because of the
Yeah.
timing
It's a
of
lot. Yeah.
everything. Like she's either somewhere else or no kids allowed or whatever.
Right. But they do say that sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it up on something. And then we're gonna have people enter to win a gift card with you, which is
Yeah.
super exciting. And then I have a few other events that aren't necessarily like in the special needs, autism, disabilities
Yeah.
sort of a thing. So I wanted to keep it open where we could have like these different partnerships.
Right.
And of course, like
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, gift cards, gift cards, gift cards, right? I do want people to know all about
Right.
Sense-ational You. So I'm excited to have you be a part
Yeah.
of at least one or two, and we'll see how it goes. And, if we find that people are super excited and
Right.
it's bringing people to your website, then maybe we keep doing it. And
Yeah, exactly.
I just love that we're both open-minded to, okay,
Yeah.
how can we work together and how can we help more
Right.
families, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's really, I think that's what's so cool about when we first started talking, like off the bat, is like we both were creating things and are doing different pivots and exploring different avenues because the end goal is just like meeting more families and being like, hey, I want to provide resources for you. It's like, and that's just
yeah.
both of our goals. And so it's cool just to find another person that's like open to trying different things and being like, where are the families? How can we help them? Like, how can we
Yes,
reach them and let
exactly.
them know about different resources? So it's
Yeah.
always cool to find like-minded people to try to brainstorm that with.
And something else that I was thinking about today. So the woman that's doing my website, she sent me kind of like a draft, I guess, where
Yeah.
I could see it. Like I can see what it's going to look like, but
Right.
it's not live yet. And some of the wording was a little off because the private group I have on Facebook, it was worded more about a community where people can share ideas and products. And
Interesting. Yeah.
I said everything's great, but we need to look at that differently. And the reason why I
Right.
didn't create the group that way is because
Yeah.
there are tons of groups out there where it's generic, anybody can post anything, and not
Yeah.
that I don't want people to share things, but people could be posting any sort of a product, and I
Oh, totally.
literally create these partnerships.
Right.
So I really wanted something that I ran, not to be like, oh, I just need control over it, but I
Yes.
wanted it to be something that really is a trusted
Yeah.
source, a trusted like brand,
Right.
and that a lot of people will send me a direct message and they'll say,
Mhm.
hey, have you looked at this? Or, hey, my son has
Oh,
this and it's been amazing. And I will. I'll look
cool.
for it. I'll see if
Right.
I can. I'm constantly seeing if I can partner with these companies or brands and if there's a discount.
Right.
Now, sometimes neither of those are possible. And then that's
Yeah.
when I kind of say, all right, here's the Amazon link or here's, um,
Right.
and I do have some like partnerships that have partnerships with major retailers.
Oh, yes. Yep.
So some of those get shared. Actually, a lot of those get shared because there are things that I'm like, oh, Renna got this for her birthday. This would be
Right.
amazing, but I can't figure out who actually owns the
Like
product.
how to access who actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
because sometimes it's more like they might have gotten it from okay, here I think is the problem. If people are selling things on Amazon,
Yeah.
you don't really know who the creator is all the time
It's true. Yeah.
because there are multiple sellers selling the same thing under like
Yes.
their business or their shop or whatever. So there are times where I'm really kind of, I guess, promoting different
Yeah.
things that I don't have an exclusive partnership or I can't
Right.
find a discount or I can't get it, but I know it's good. Like I know
Right.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Like this trampoline, I
So good.
haven't looked in a while, but it sold out. Like Rena got
Whoa.
it for Christmas. It's amazing. It has a zipper thing. Once she's in,
Mhm.
she can't get out.
Amazing.
Like, so if she was playing and I had to go into the other room to refill her water, or if I had to go to the bathroom,
Right. Yeah.
I know she's safe because she has no
Yes.
sense
You
of
know,
danger.
there's no like coming out. Yeah.
Exactly. But it sold out and I couldn't find it
Crazy.
anywhere. I couldn't find a discount, nothing. But I should
Wow.
like recheck. But like something like that.
Yeah. If they sold
I
out, I'm
do
sure
not
they restocked
know
it.
who owns that. Like who
Right. Like try
created
to hunt
that.
down the one trampoline manufacturer of the one that you own and
Exactly.
probably sells to so many brands. Yeah. It's
Exactly. So that's like perfect example of I was promoting this on Rena's Corner Facebook group right before Christmas, and then Renna got it, and then they were sold out. So I
sold out.
stopped
Yeah.
sharing it because I don't want to share
Right.
something people can't get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of background of
The
what
journey.
and
No,
why.
it's cool.
Yeah, because
Because as
I
you said, like it's not knowing if a product is verified as actually being good, like is a huge problem. Even from like a small brand perspective of like, I want to share with some of these groups, like, hey, I created this thing, this resource. Like I love feedback. I want to share it with you guys. And it's hard because if you do scroll in a lot of those groups, it's the people kind of sharing a lot of random things. And I don't feel like then posts get kind of trusted. Like it's not like then my post is like, oh, I should actually check this out. They're just like, oh, it's another person just pushing
yeah,
something. It's like not verified by anyone. You're just kind of
exactly.
posting.
And you
So
know
I
what
think it's
I
really cool to have some sort of like especially as a mom, be like, I have tried these products. These
right.
are recommended. Like that instills a lot more confidence in another parent.
Yeah, and I take the time to like research these things too.
Right.
Like if it is an Amazon thing, I literally am like, okay, what about that one and that one? Okay, that one, that one definitely looks like it's way better than this one, you
Right.
know? And so I feel hopefully it's helping families to be like, all
Yeah.
right, we know Brenda, we know Brenda's Corner, like we
Right.
trust that this is good, And if it doesn't work out, it's Amazon half time and they can send it back.
Right. Right.
But
Which is funny. People, because I recently put some of our products like up on Amazon, but you put it up as a small business, you can just put it up like I still send out the orders. It's not like
okay.
Amazon Prime, like they don't have it in their warehouse, but you can check out like on Amazon with a couple of our hoodies just to kind of like test out if customers liked it. And it is fun. I think you do get a lot more random returns. Like the hoodie we talked about that you want to get is currently available in this lilac purple color. And someone returned it on Amazon because it was too purple. And I was like, I mean, you could have bought the navy. Like, I don't, so it is fun, like the shopping habits of people on Amazon versus if they buy it like from your website as a small business is really different. And I really did not expect that given that I'm not like it's not sold by Amazon, right? Like, it's not like Amazon
Yes.
Prime, like from their warehouse comes in their box. Like they get it from my small business packaging. So I didn't think it'd be that different.
Yeah.
But it is really funny. The returns are definitely a lot higher. People are just kind of like, I'll return it with all my other Amazon stuff.
Exactly. I know. I have another partnership with Fenrici, which is like a adaptable backpack that can be hung on
Cool.
like a wheelchair
Yeah.
or an adaptive stroller, things like that. And I think. I'm pretty sure that was the first kind of like brand that I was talking to, and they were selling on Amazon and their website, and they said that Amazon is really hard to
It
manage
is.
because of things like that. We're so used to Amazon just like, I mean, it just came right out of my mouth. Send it back, right?
Send it
Like,
back. Yeah.
you know? But
It's true. It's just a
that's how it
different
is.
mindset when you're shopping on it, and you expect it really quickly. And like as a
Yeah.
one person small business, like I know my Amazon Seller Center permanently has like this notice of like you're really late in shipping it all the time, but like I can't physically ship things out every hour. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
am one person and like fulfillment is not my full-time job. And so it's just been funny trying to navigate that and from both the seller side and like the new consumer behavior that's really different than consumer behavior from my website.
Exactly. It's like learning. Like we were talking about before,
Right.
you had to learn what works, what doesn't work, and you're constantly
Mhm.
evolving and changing things. And I honestly, if I can, I definitely try to support a person
Right.
versus a random person or persons
Right.
on Amazon. And yes, I buy things from Amazon all the time. I
Oh, of
literally
course. Yeah.
like
Same.
Renna's career day is on Friday. And of course, I wait till last minute. I'm not
Yeah.
creative. I don't have time to like make this fancy shirt because
Right.
it's like a little girl with purple glasses on this
Oh,
shirt and it says future influencer. And
that
and
is incredible.
like
That
she
is
has
so
her own
perfect.
Instagram. She has
Right.
thousands of people who follow her. So I'm like, this is perfect. So that's what I'm doing. But I
Yes.
do want you to talk just a little bit more about the products that you have, the
Yeah.
best way to pe for people to purchase. I do know I have a specific link, so I'm guessing that's
Perfect. Yep.
probably the best
Yep.
way. But kind of as we wrap up things, just share some different products and anything else that you want to share. And I'm pretty sure you don't see a timer on your end, so I'll let you know when we're
I
coming
do
down.
actually, so
You
we'll
do.
be
Okay.
good.
Okay, good, good. So
Um,
I don't want to end it without wrapping things up. So go ahead.
wrapping it up. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely the hoodie we talked about, our quiet sense sound reducing hoodie has definitely become like a keystone product, bestseller, and that's been really cool. And that comes with magnetic closures. And we also made a zipper version because I know like kids who have pacemakers or shunts like can't have magnets.
Okay.
So it was very cool to be able to add a zipper version for people who want it. And if you just want to have the zipper version. It's also totally fine, but that's was the thought process in making it. And then we have a t-shirt, which is pretty much the next bestseller, that has a built-in compression lining underneath. And it works a lot like a compression vest where you open up the sides and you tighten it in the back, but it's built in underneath a like sensory friendly, tag-free cotton t-shirt. So instead of having to wrestle a child into a vest, they can just wear it all day and you can leave it loose and it's just kind of like a second layer, like almost like wearing an undershirt under your shirt. And then when you need it, you lift up the top layer and you can tighten the compression and they can keep on running. So that was definitely one that came out of my teaching days of sharing compression vests and running around trying to wrestle kids into them. And we also have a pair of joggers that have the same magnet from the hoodie opening as a pocket on the cargo pocket so that you can fidget with it. I know when we were talking about the hoodie, you even mentioned like, oh, she loves fidgeting, like Renna loves to fidget, and she'll love the magnets. And so we added that to our joggers too. So there's something always to kind of play with and fidget with.
Yeah.
And those are all super sensory friendly too. Like even the pocket bags are stitched down so that the inside is just totally flat. No tags, no
Mm.
bulky seams, nothing crumpling up, nothing. It's just a flat inside. Keep it simple. And yeah, we have some new products coming out too, which will be exciting. So as they come out, I'll definitely share them with you, Brenda, so you can share them with your community too. But we have a vest version of the sound reducing hoodie coming out, and then a new fidget hoodie that will have a marble maze built into the pocket. So kind of just a different way to fidget other than the magnets, but having something built in so that they always have something to help regulate, focus, reduce anxiety, things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know what's interesting? You know how Facebook sends you things once they know you're interested in stuff?
Yes.
They keep sending me something with a similar pocket fidgeting
Oh,
thing.
interesting. I'll have to
And
try to I'll try to find maybe it'll pop up for me now. I
right,
haven't
because we're
seen
talking
anything
about
like
it, but
it.
I don't know who it is. Like I don't know the
Yeah.
brand or anything, but knowing you, I'm like, I'm not gonna like, I don't know who this person is. Right.
Right.
So even that, a lot of times you might get caught by a Facebook ad and be like, oh, but I literally do it all
Right.
the time. Like I bought a face lotion the other day.
Oh.
But again, like if we know of a trusted brand and person,
Right.
So I just love what you're doing and I'm super excited that you're going to
Thanks.
be one of Renna's Corner exclusive brands.
Yeah, I'm so
And
excited.
yeah, and I will maybe tonight I'll order the hoodie. Okay. I'm accountable
Perfect.
now. I need to order it
Yeah, add to the
because
to-do
I
list.
need to get it by March 25th, I think. So,
Okay, perfect. So we got some time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share before we end our call?
I feel like the biggest thing to share is that I'm still developing this company and adding new products out of like what people ask for, even just like different colors
Mm.
people will ask for if there's like certain school colors. So I love when customers reach out, email, message on the website, DM or comment on socials, like whatever. Like I'm a one-person business, I'm reading them all. So reach out however you want. But it truly helps so much. Like that's how I built the whole brand was just based on what people needed and were asking me for. So I always say like please reach out because I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so we'll include all of your socials and then we'll just use my link because it goes
Yeah,
right to your website and then that
perfect.
way you'll know if someone purchases something, it's because they heard about you through Rena's Corner. So,
Yeah, I
and it
love that.
helps support Rena's Corner too and
Exactly.
the expenses of the website and all the
Oh yeah,
events we're doing and things like that. And of course, Rena's future. So,
of course.
yeah. All right, Julia, thank you so much. This has been
Thank
amazing. I
you.
love these conversations. I feel like I
So fun.
learned so much and I definitely process things out loud. So I
No, I
appreciate
love it. It's so fun.
you kind of engaging and us having these conversations, and hopefully it brings value to others.
Yeah.
And um, I don't know how it looks, but I've been adding like the like and follow. So hopefully
Ooh,
that pops
cool.
up on the screen. I'm not sure.
Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, we'll definitely share all of your stuff and feel free to share this conversation with anyone
Absolutely.
that you want to as well. We'll
Mhm.
also be doing some different clips that will get put out on Instagram on Renna's
Perfect.
Corner, more like a reel, just kind of some clips of
Yeah.
our conversation. And those can take some time because I have a dad who has a son with Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, like my
Oh,
daughter. I've
yeah.
hired his business, his media business, to kind of put together like these clips. Like,
Cool.
so
Oh, I
this
love that.
conversation, yeah, this
Yeah.
conversation is super raw and rare, or not raw. See, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Real and raw. Like,
Yep, I love it.
I said Julia, but it sounded like I said Julie because of the next word. And I was like, darn it, I'm going to delete
You're gonna
that.
do
No, I'm not. I'm
no,
leaving it there.
no.
You know? But
No,
anyway,
I love it.
so before we get totally cut off, thank you. Thank you. This has been
Thank
great. And I'm
you.
looking forward to our partnership and getting that
Same.
hoodie.
Yes, I can't wait.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.